Welcome to the Seattle Investors Club podcast with Julie Clark and Joe Bauer, where we share the nuts and bolts of real estate investing from our 20-plus years in the industry. Sit back, relax, listen, and immediately take action. Are you ready? Here we go.
Welcome to another edition of the Seattle Investors Club podcast. Today on the podcast, we're going to be talking about competition for deals and where do you fit in. But first, I have my co-host, Julie Clark. Julie, how are you doing today?
I am doing excellent. I'm 20 ounces of coffee in, and I am ready to go.
Oh, man, you're ahead of me. I need to get in this game and catch up a little bit. Oof.
I'm actually surprised you even drink coffee. I figure you were drinking spinach water or something like that.
I mean, I do drink spinach water, but coffee is for closers, baby.
Oh, yeah. Is coffee, what's the vote from our in-house health expert, Joe Bauer? If you guys don't know, Joe has another podcast called All Around Joe. That's what it's called, right?
Nailed it, Julie. Nailed it.
All Around Joe. It is awesome. It is awesome. For all you fitness people out there or people that are interested in their health, you guys should definitely check it out. And you get to see Joe, with his guns out, all buffed out. So is coffee healthy for you, Joe, or not? What's your take on that?
The answer is it depends, but for most people, coffee is not bad for you. The coffee bean in and of itself is usually something that has a lot of health benefits. It's the caffeine that sometimes people can go a little bit overboard with, but caffeine can also, what's that? I
said that would be me.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, caffeine can do a lot of fun stuff for people as far as motivation, stimulation, that sort of a thing. So I don't think that it's a bad thing. And having tried to go both ways, meaning like a few years back, I took a whole year off of caffeine. I am way more productive with caffeine. And I think that you can monitor your caffeine consumption where maybe it's like not every day do you totally have all the caffeine in the world, but like for example, let's say you have 2 cups of coffee, 3 cups of coffee on a normal hard working day, but you just have one on the day that you're kind of chilling out.
Gotcha. Well, you guys are all lucky. Anybody out there in podcast land listening today, because both of us are all hopped up on the bean today. So let's do it.
All right. So where are we going to start today, Julie? With competition for deals, where do you fit in?
Yeah. The reason why I want to talk about this topic today is because as of late, I've been getting a lot of questions from people coming up to me, asking me for advice on what they should do, because a lot of people are having trouble finding deals right now, for one. And a lot of the reason is because they're putting their efforts in the wrong places on what they need to be spending their time on in regards to getting deals, or maybe finding a partner who has a deal to partner with, etc. Because they don't take stock of, where they fit in the process. What tools do they have? If you don't have a lot of tools in your tool belt as an investor or as a newbie getting started, and you're spending all your time looking on the MLS for deals, I can pretty much guarantee you that you're wasting your time. So today we're going to try and talk about kind of which lane that you're in, where do you fit in on competing for deals, and follow that up with maybe giving you guys a little direction based on, what I'm going to be calling, because we are in the 2018 Winter Olympics right now. I'm going to do a little analogy with gold, silver, bronze, and the old runner-up, and see where you guys fit in for yourself after listening to this podcast, and maybe get some tips on maybe where to better spend your time to get involved in a deal or find your own deal. So you guys all ready? Give me a big shout out if you're ready.
Hoo-hoo.
Hey. Okay. All right. Awesome, guys. Here we go. So really what it comes down to figure out where you fit in today's crazy market, very competitive market for deals, you need to assess and take stock of what tools do you have currently in your toolbox, wherever you're at in your investing career. If you're, a newbie, or meaning you have, no experience or very little experience and low funds. You're not a broker or, contractor, or maybe you're a beginner, where you've done one deal, or maybe you've got some experience and deals under your belt and you've been in the game for a while, or maybe you're, crushing it. And you're very experienced. Those are kind of some different lanes. And all those people, as you grow in this business, your number one thing you need to be paying attention to is gathering more tools into your toolbox, more specialty tools, just like any trade, any contractor would have. They have their tools for, I don't know, because I'm not a contractor, but you guys get what I'm saying, right? There's special tools for special situations. You want to start gathering more and more of those. So I'm going to cover kind of what I'll say are the top 4 tools that I would consider for this type of conversation that you do or you do not have in your toolbox, and that you should maybe pursue getting all these tools into your toolbox. Because once you have all these tools in your toolbox, then you become uber competitive, okay, to get more deals, to win more deals, to beat out the competition. So number 1 tool would be maybe if you're a contractor. If you're a contractor in this business coming in to be a real estate investor, that gives you a little bit of a head start, okay? You've got the knowledge of what things costs. You've probably got relationships with subs. You might have savings regarding the ability, if you got in a jam, to pick up the hammer yourself. Even for the big players, that's not the end goal. You want to try and get away from that. But in the beginning, having that knowledge and that skill set and those relationships with other contractors gives you an advantage. Because really, when we're talking about tools, we're talking about which tools can save you money, or where you have savings, where you can pay more than somebody else, or you can be more creative, I guess, in your offers, or get paid at different points during the process, right? So when I say tools, we're talking about tools that can save you money. As a contractor, obviously, like I said, maybe you can have cheaper construction costs. You can buy material cheaper. You can, get a crew more consistently, and that sort of thing. And of course, save yourself and do some work if you had to. That'd be tool number 1. Tool number 2 might be that you're a broker. Maybe you're a broker already. You have a real estate license. That is my favorite tool, because we can crush it these days in this business without ever even having to be a contractor or flip a house. There's so many great opportunities that everybody, in my opinion, should have somebody on their team that has a real estate license. And in fact, here at Seattle Investors Club, we're going to be covering that topic a lot more and really getting down to the nuts and bolts of that specific topic for you guys here in the next short while. So having a broker's license, which is what we call a real estate agent here in the state of Washington, is a major tool, because you can buy properties, let's say if you're competing on the MLS, and you can actually collect a commission on the purchase and throw that into your deal. Or you can list a property on the back end, and if the deal gets tight or something like that, you don't have to pay yourself a listing commission. Maybe you might have to pay your office something. Or maybe you actually, let me say that again, maybe you will pay yourself a commission. It's just another form of income, right? Who cares whether you make it on the deal or you make it on the commission on the back end if it's coming into your pocket? You guys get what I'm saying there. So Julie's favorite tool is having a real estate license. Number 3 tool might be that you've got some money, whether that is money that you've made at your day job and some savings, or some equity in your house that you're tapping into, or you have a trust fund, whatever works for you. Or maybe you are tapping into a self-directed IRA, which is another awesome source. Maybe you have a big stock portfolio, that stuff invested in the stock market, and you guys may or may not be aware of this, but you can actually borrow from some of the big stock brokerage houses, I guess I'll say, you can borrow against your invested portfolio without even cashing in your investments.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Ask your financial advisor about that. I'm actually working on something with some of my buddies and with my own financial advisor about on that. But yes, you can. There are a few rules, but it's actually, with a self-directed IRA, there's a lot of there's a lot of rules. Using your borrowing against your own invested stock portfolio or a mutual fund portfolio, I don't think a lot of people think about it because a lot of financial advisors don't bring it up because I don't think they make any money off doing that. But it's available, and for the good ones that know they want to keep their clients happy, it's something you should ask your financial advisor about. With that said, I am not your financial advisor, and I am not at all saying I know what all the rules are, but I can tell you that I'm in the process of making sure I know what they are, and I advise you guys all, if you're interested, that is to talk to your own financial advisor about that. And we might have somebody here on the podcast that's going to be able to talk to you guys about that too. But the point is that having your own funds is definitely a tool, right? If you don't have to use hard money, which typically might cost anywhere from 2 or 3 points up front to 12% annually. Let's call that 1% a month. So, and 20% down. You might be able to get a better deal than that if you're experienced, but those are kind of some standard terms, if not even higher. That's expensive. And if you have to use hard money, then that all the time, because you don't have any other choice, that doesn't help you compete, right? It's awesome to do so. And I advise everybody to sign up with a hard money lender. Here in Seattle, we use Verestone Capital. Shout out to our friends over there. But having your own funds gives you some major savings. Number 4 would be using other people's money, getting private money, developing relationships, or maybe you have family or friends that believe in you and are interested in what you're doing, and you can borrow, have them be private money lenders. Typically, there are no points with a private money lender, oftentimes, and the interest rate's much lower. Maybe it's 8%, maybe it's 10%, right? Even if it is 12%, who cares? You're not paying 3 points. So that's a major tool in the toolbox that anybody can get if you learn how to speak the lingo and have confidence and have a track record, right? When you're brand new, maybe that's harder to do, but there are methods and ways of getting a track record. Let's just say, for example, by partnering up with a more experienced investor on your first 3 to 5 deals. So you have a portfolio that you can talk about, right? Stuff like that. Again, a day of another podcast, we can cover all that stuff. So we're talking about tools to save you money. We said maybe being a contractor, maybe being a broker, having a real estate license, having access to cheaper money, having your own funds, or maybe having private money would all be awesome killer tools. Each of those, either individually or collectively, or one or two of them, stacking those up is going to help you compete for deals in this competitive market. And it's going to help you, if you assess which of those tools that you have, it's going to help you assess where you fit in to compete in today's crazy seller's market here in 2018. All makes sense so far, you guys? Joe, is that making sense to you?
So much sense, Julie. It's awesome.
Well, that's good. That is good. So I'm going to keep on trucking here. So let's talk about, for example, let's keep it simple. Let's say you're going to compete for properties on the MLS, okay? Because people make the mistake when they get excited about getting into this business. And in some parts of the country, maybe there are deals on the MLS, and I'm saying there actually are deals. Yes, here in our market, in the Pacific Northwest, in Seattle, there are deals that are on the market, but you're going to be paying more for those. And if you don't have at least probably 3 of the 4 tools in your pocket, the chances of you actually succeeding in getting that property, unless you've done your numbers wrong, are very slim. Because the big boys that have our full, and girls, hey ladies, Hey, real estate ladies, where you at? I know you're out there because I know a bunch of you badasses. If you don't have 3 at least, if not 4 of those tools, the ladies and the gents that do have those tools are going to kick your butt. So instead of wasting your time looking for deals on the MLS, you should be efficiently using your time to work towards getting one or more of these extra tools into your toolbox so you can become more competitive. Okay. So for us right now, we are not contractors, but because we're such good networkers, we have very good contractor relationships. It's kind of like the same thing for Joe and I. Of course, I'm a broker available to all of you. If you ever need any help, I give you a special deal for investors. We have our own funds, and we also have private funds. We have all 4 tools. Okay. So needless to say, we're going to railroad you. If you try and compete with us on the MLS, right? I don't actually even ever look for deals on the MLS. I absolutely do not, because we've perfected our off-market model. Not perfected because we're always working on it, but I don't even look. I only look for other people who can't get their own deals from some of my buyer clients, but I never look for us, not for our own deals, because I'm focused more on off-market. So, but going back, because using listed properties as an example of the competition is easy way to explain and help you guys understand where you fit in. So let's go with, we're going to go back to our Olympics analogy. Let's go with the gold medal, the winner. Those people are going to have 3 or 4 tools in their toolbox. They're going to be maybe a broker. Okay. Yes. They're going to have their own crew because they do so many deals that they can keep construction crew busy at all times, because one of the hardest things in a competitive market like we are in now is to find contractors. They're so busy, right? And lots of people do deals with small margins. Some of the big guys are doing deals with very minimal margins just to keep their crews busy, which I have a whole nother idea for all you guys that are doing that I will throw out on one of our tips of the day that we throw out here from Seattle Investors Club out onto YouTube. But, gold medal, you're a broker, you've got a crew that you can keep busy, or at least they pay attention when they call you, when you call them, or they're in-house for you. You have your own funds, or you've become an expert at raising private money. That is gold right there. So you guys should start working towards that. The easiest one, if you have nothing getting started out and you're a newbie and you have low funds and no experience and you're not a broker and you're not a contractor, the very easiest one, the very easiest tool to get in your toolbox quickly, does take effort, is to get your real estate license and become a broker. Okay. And if you're in Seattle and you want to know how to do that, and you're a member of Seattle Investors Club, we have a special code for you guys to get a discount with Rockwell Institute, which is a real estate course. That's the one I use. Don't overthink it. Just pick one. So if you want that and you're a member of Seattle Investors Club, give Joe a shout out at joe@seattleinvestorsclub.com, and he can let you know what that discount code is. But that is the gold standard. That's the gold medal winner, right? That's the Michael Phelps of real estate right there. So, number 2, I said easiest is to get your broker's license. Or if you have money, obviously you can if you already have money in your bank account and you have access to funds, and all you need is, you can use a hard money lender, right? So when I say having a tool in your arsenal of having some money, that doesn't mean you need 100% of the money to buy a deal, because you could work with a hard money lender and you might only be required to put, let's say, 20% down, right, of whatever your purchase price is on your deal. Or, go open your file with Veristone Capital, find your deal and let them tell you how much that is. But if you're budgeting, 20% to 30%, sometimes it could even be 10%, but if you're new, it's probably going to be around 20%. that could be 20, 40, $50,000. It doesn't have to be hundreds of thousands of dollars, at least out here in Seattle, out in the Midwest, if you're listening, or somewhere else. Obviously that could be not a lot of money. You just need to know how to use whatever money you have available and realize what you can use it for. So if you have under $100,000, you're probably going to be able to use hard money to get a deal closed, at least in the Pacific Northwest. If you have a few $100,000, maybe 300 or more, you can, or 250, you can look at buying a deal, cash. Those are good tools to have. And if you already have that, you got that tool in your toolbox. Getting the crew these days, that's hard if you're starting from scratch, because good luck trying to find anybody to share their contractor or general contractor contact information with you, because they're just trying to keep hold of them themselves. Now, if you do join a local real estate investment club that has a mentality of sharing, like we do at Seattle Investors Club, you might be able to maybe not get a general contractor, maybe sometimes, but definitely you can get recommendations and referrals for subs, right? And you might get lucky that somebody will also share their general contractor with you. But I can tell you within our own club, I do see that happening on a regular basis. So if that's important to you and you want to get that tool in your toolbox, then by all means, join one of your local real estate investment clubs or come join us at Seattle Investors Club. You can do so just by coming to one of our meetings. Our next meeting is March 10th, where we're also going to be talking about self-directed IRAs, which is another great source of funds that you might already have available to you. So come see us March 10th. If you want to get on the RSVP list for that meeting, email joe@seattleinvestorsclub.com so you can get educated about that. So that's the gold. You've got all those tools in your toolbox. Silver is maybe that you have two of those tools. Maybe you're a broker and you have your own money, or maybe you're a contractor that has some money, or maybe you have a contractor, and because you're a contractor, people believe in your credibility in order to get the work done and get the house renovated, and people will be willing to loan you private money, right? It's all about how you carry yourself, how you present yourself, and the confidence that you have in talking about your skill sets and, what you can accomplish and what you're working on, right? So silver, you have two of those. Bronze, maybe you have, you're in the lane where you've only got one of those tools. Maybe you're a broker wanting to get involved in real estate investing. That's a killer tool to have in your toolbox. Or maybe you're just somebody that has money and you want to be a private money lender, or you want to get in the game because you got some money and you don't want to invest all your money in the stock market, and real estate is the awesome way to go, right? And then runner up, you got no tools, right? Going from runner up to bronze to, maybe silver, you might want to be looking at deals on the MLS. You might be able to pick one up. But if you're in the runner up where you have no tools because you're just getting started, you're in bronze because you only have one tool and you don't have any of the other tools, it is going to be a waste of your time, guys. So instead, you need to be learning how to find your own deals off market, right? And you need to be able to spend your time efficiently when you're learning and getting started, and focus your energy on getting one or more of these tools into your toolbox. Like I said, go get your real estate license, right? Then you have something to compete with. And while you're doing so and learning, maybe you're going to figure out at the same time how to tap into any resources that you have or that your friends or your family have. Okay. Those are my tips for you on how to compete. Because it's all about, being able to lower your costs when you're buying a deal. Specifically, we're talking about off the MLS. And if you don't have those tools, stop wasting your time on that until you get some of those tools. We're going to have other podcasts about how to get off-market deals. But one of the things that I'll say to you is if you have one of those tools or you have no tools, you got to figure out, maybe you should go partner with somebody. Go partner with somebody that has these tools and figure out what you can bring to the table. right? We're going to do some other podcasts and tips a bit today about ideas on what you bring to the table and what you can offer people so you can partner maybe with somebody that has some of these other tools. Maybe you know a contractor, right? And you have money. Or maybe you're a contractor, or maybe you're a broker and you know contractors, right? Do the first few deals together, right? Partner up with somebody. Go seek out people that have the tools that you don't. Do a few deals together and either work out, or you don't need to get married. You don't need to join in a company. You can do them one off at a time until each of you grows your toolbox, you know? And if you do those deals, you're going to get experience where you have more credibility to talk about and maybe present to people about getting private money, or you're going to earn money. So you're going to start having a pot of money that you guys can invest, either just, using hard money or growing a big enough pot to buy deals with your own money. But that's the focus, guys. Either sit down when we get off this podcast and figure out which lane you're in. Are you gold, silver, bronze, or are you a runner up? All of them are okay. You can totally have success no matter where you're at, right? But maybe you need to understand where you're at so you can understand where to focus your time and energy, right? Until you can work towards getting more of these tools in your toolbox so you can get up to the gold, right? You can get up to the gold and then the world is your oyster. Another tool that I didn't mention that's a big specialty tool that you could and should get into your toolbox, and it doesn't cost you any money. It just, you just have to take action to learn about it, is creative real estate. Learn about creative real estate because that is a really good tool. And you can actually even beat some of these gold level people that are brokers, have crews, have their own money, if you understand how to structure a creative real estate deal. And we did do another podcast exactly on that topic. Do you remember which one that was, Joe? What number was that? Are you able to?
I'm looking it up right now. It is at seattleinvestorsclub.com/7. That's seattleinvestorsclub.com/7 is creative real estate with Jacob Weaver.
Right. That's a tool that costs you no money to get it. You guys like listening to podcasts or watching videos and getting your education on, that would be a good one to give you a really good tool. Even if you only had that tool, I'll give you the secret sauce. You might be able to beat the gold level, gold medal guys and gals that have all these other tools. A lot of people that are brokers, have crews, have money, they have no clue. A little secret. They have no clue how to structure creative real estate deals. Some of the biggest players in town, they either don't want to be bothered with it because it maybe takes a little more effort, and they get enough deals as it is that they don't figure that they need to, go out and get that special, spend time on it. You guys can crush them. Okay. You guys can crush them. You can compete with them just with that alone. Okay. So that is a big tool that you want to get the expensive version of, if you get what I'm saying. So if you guys ever have deals and that you need help on, just know that Joe and I are here for you guys. Just simply text us or email us. You can reach me at julie@seattleinvestorsclub.com. And you just want to say, I need help with a deal. And then I'll respond to you. Never going to ever, ever, ever take your deal. We got your back. That's what we're here all about at Seattle Investors Club, SIC family. When there's a competitive market, people worry about their leads getting stolen. I'll give you my first child, which I had two at the same time because I got twins, so you can have them both. If I ever steal your deal, you can have both my kids. It ain't going to happen. So if you guys need help, give me a shout and I got your back. But that is it, really. To keep it simple, on how to compete. You got to get those tools in your toolbox, and you need to stop wasting your time where you can't compete at this point in your investing career. Go focus on getting those tools and partnering up and meeting people that you can do deals with that already have some of those tools. Those people are ready, willing, and able And you know what? If you're a contractor, I guarantee you there's a broker out there that wants to be your friend and try and collectively have a toolbox together for a while. If you're a broker, I guarantee you there's a contractor that wants to do the same, right? If you're somebody with money that's out there, I guarantee you're going to be happy to meet a contractor. Like I said, your goal is to get all those tools for yourself and your own private company. But until that time, go make friends with people that have opposite tools of you. How's that? Boom. Mic drop.
Seems so simple, Julie.
It does seem simple. But you know what the problem is these days, Joe? Is that there is so much noise out there. There is so many gurus out there spouting off this and that. There's so much information with videos and podcasts that people don't know where to start.
Yep.
Right? It's confusing for people. So one of the big things at Seattle Investors Club, that the reason why we even started the club, is to sort of flip that coin over and give you guys a more direct path to getting started. Let's go back to the basics. Let's break it down. Okay. I'm going to tell you specifically, spend your time on this and this and this. That's it. In fact, typically when people ask me, where should I start spending my time? I give them one answer. And typically that answer is find leads, lead generation. That's your number one. If you're just getting started, nothing else matters unless you got a lead. And if you get a lead, everybody's going to be your best friend. Okay. Don't worry about buyer's list. Don't worry about how to rehab the house. Don't worry about the money. Go find the deal. Go find the deal. That's where you should spend your time initially, watching videos and educating yourself, as well as getting tools in your toolbox. Creative real estate investing. Go get your broker's license. Go network and meet people that have the opposite tools of you. And guess what? You might find you thought you were going to do this by yourself, and you're going to find that it's way more fun, and you can scale faster, and you can celebrate wins together if you go find a partner. So I know you guys can do this. It's really not that complicated, and let's just make sure that we keep things simple and focused as you're getting started. And if you are listening and you're in the silver medal category or the gold medal category, hopefully there's something you picked up here on this podcast today about little tools on what you might be. Maybe you forgot about creative real estate investing and you're like, dang, the deal flow's slowing down. Well, guess what? If you're slowed down, go learn about creative real estate investing. If you need help with that, again, we're going to hook you up with some of our most creative people that know how to do these deals inside and out. It's crazy what they come up with. I'm not even saying I'm the expert on that at all, but I know who is. I know a lot of people who are, and that's what we're talking about here, right? Meeting people that have different skill sets than you do, so you can go out and compete and eventually get all those tools in your own toolbox. Okay? I think I said all that in one breath without taking a breath of air the entire time. And that's what a good cup of coffee will do for you.
So go and have some. Here we go.
That's right. You guys go out, get your giant cup of coffee, feel good and healthy about it, and get to work on collecting those tools in your toolbox. But other than that, Joe, I don't know. Is there anything else that we want to talk about?
No, I mean, so just one little thing that kind of popped up as you were saying that is that like there's an education component to like doing some of these things, and then there's also the action component of like going out and finding deals and whatnot. And I'm thinking that when I don't know, there's always the people get stuck in the education component. I'm thinking that it might be interesting for people to use a tactic like I do with the time blocking, where you actually time block the action components versus the educational components, so that you know that like, all right, from 9 to noon, I'm doing the education. So I'm learning about how to get my realtor's license. And then from like, the noon until 2, I'm actually going to schedule time to take action on finding deals. And that at first you may not know what that is. That might be like, oh, I'm walking around and knocking on doors, or I'm like actually, trying to find out how to pull a list and handwriting letters to certain places or whatnot. But at least you're actually moving down that road and not just continuing to think, oh, I don't know what to do. I'm going to just learn more.
Right. And then remember also when you're going to these, real estate investment club meetings or you're networking, now hopefully that we've put this bug in your ear, you're going to be paying attention to the people you meet and what they do, right? In the past, you might have thought like, maybe I'll call them when I get a deal. But now what I'm telling you is, no, talk to them now so you guys can get a deal together because they're having the same problem you are, right? Everybody needs more tools in order to compete. And if you can't compete by yourself, you need to join forces and compete together. And Joe's right. Time blocking is the way to do that, right? You could listen to podcasts and watch videos forever. But if you don't take the action behind it, like he's saying, it's kind of pointless, right? So that's where Joe has always been good for our team to remind us to compartmentalize and you even have like themed days, don't you?
Yeah, I have the theme days. So, I would do a whole day of marketing or taking action. But I understand that some people's businesses and lives might be different than that. And maybe it makes sense to have 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever a day of taking action. It's just, I think it's the most important thing that you schedule it and you have that contract with yourself where it's like, even if you don't know what you're going to do or how to do it, you have that spot in there and you're like, I'm going to work at X, I'm going to work at finding deals. I'm going to work at creating relationships. I'm going to work at, going to an event and networking.
Right. Do you have a book on time blocking that you like?
I should write one.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, you should write one. That's a good idea. You guys think Joe should write a book on time blocking? I sure do. Raise your hand. Give me a shout out. Oh my God, look at all those people, Joe, raising their hand. You should write a book. You should do that.
Yeah. No, I have a lot of resources and I read a lot, usually about a book a week. And one guy that's really good that you could look into is Brendan Burchard. I can't remember the last book that I was reading about his, but he does a lot on like teaching you about what experts or, what really successful people are doing in the habits that they've created in order to get success. And it's really interesting breaking down like even percentages of time that they spend each day in like their most important tasks. So you can look into that, Brendan Burchard, and I'll put that in the show notes as well. So you could just go and click on SeattleInvestorsClub.com/23 and find a link to some of the books that I think are valuable for that resource.
So the SeattleInvestorsClub.com/23 is how they can easily get to this podcast. Is that what we're saying?
That's the show notes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Sweet. That's like marketing lingo. Show notes.
Show notes.
Nice.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, I don't have anything else to add. Now that I drank all that coffee, I kind of got to go wee. So.
Oh, geez. Well, we better get off the call then.
That's right. All right. Awesome, guys. Well, it's been great today. I love these topics. Always remind me of what tools I need to sharpen in my own toolbox. So I've inspired myself.
There we go. That's what it's all about. Cool. All right.
Well, anything we need to tell them, Joe, about, reviewing or YouTube or whatever that you would like to say?
We always love it when you guys give us a rating and review on this podcast. And you can do that on iTunes at SeattleInvestorsClub.com/iTunes. That will take you right to the channel. And then for every 5-star review that we get, it totally helps us out. So if you appreciated this information at all, we would appreciate that from you. And if you want to see our faces on video, you can do that at YouTube by either searching for Seattle Investors Club or going to SeattleInvestorsClub.com/YouTube. And most of those right now are Julie's beautiful face, but I'll be making an appearance here and there as well.
Those are a bunch of tips of the day, guys, like short tips of the day that are all very helpful information. Nice, short, and sweet.
Absolutely. And we'll be coming out with those on a consistent basis. So hitting that subscribe button will get you the continuous flow of information from us.
Right on, right on. All right, guys, over and out from Seattle, Washington.
See you later.
Thanks for listening to the Seattle Investors Club podcast. If you have questions that you'd like to have answered on the show, shoot us an email at info@seattleinvestorsclub.com. Now go out, take that action, and build that real estate business. Thanks for listening.